Yeah, that's going to be a very interesting one. The last time they played each other, it was Ancient, Overpass, and Mirage, all won by Cloud9. So maybe ENCE were requiring something different to bring to the table, and they've certainly done that with the likes of Anubis. So let's see how this heads up now. Saw Cloud9 earlier on in the elevators. Had a nice chat with them, Nathani and Hobbit. Very nice guys. They are but maybe a slight favorite in this series. And they'll start on the defensive side now, so we've got ENCE creeping forward. Bomb in tow with 4 players towards the A-bomb site. We can see Valdez just keeping the CTs honest at the moment, offering some grenades towards that mid position while they start to poke and prod in. And here's the initial exchange to Julies again. Exile only good for 1 though. Shiro's going to have some work to do. A nice pop from him. The bomb's dropped and then collected again. Will they commit to the bomb plant? Looks like they will do as these CTs start to stream in. 3 in a row. 1 left to go forward and try and make some space for them. So far so good as Snappy is forced back. 4 versus 2 now for Cloud9. Made 1. Snappy's got so many heads to find. Nobody on the bomb just yet, but they're starting to creep forward as well. Do they prioritize the kill here? We've got 1, almost 2 men swinging. Snappy won't be able to get anything more. Cloud9 start with the pistol round.
Really solid stuff from Cloud9, and you could see ENCE instantly having a lot of utility prepared. They had a couple of smokes into the site, as well as some flashes and a molly. But Cloud9 basically looked like they were happy to play retake on that site in the pistol. They let all the utility come in. They stayed in an advantageous scenario. ENCE comes straight back with the force buy, though. So the utility may be a little lacking here, but the firepower isn't too terrible. They've got a couple of Galils. Let's see what they got up their sleeve.
Recent numbers have said that Anubis hadn't been as popular as it initially was earlier on this year, but perhaps that is because now we're into the meat and potatoes very early at the beginning of February. People had card tricks to play. This is the time to play them, especially when you have a matchup like this on the first day of IEM Katowice.
Back to the A site again from ENCE. Similar utility coming into the site, and it might be a similar setup from Cloud9, but this time Axel fights first and takes down 2.
Sight of the bomb means rotation. There were 3 players on the other side of the map for Cloud9, but they are holding their own anyway. Just the 1 kill for ENCE so far. That's not going to be enough. Bomb plant is possible now as Snappy finds a headshot on Exile, but he will be denied as the cavalry comes through. So the clean sheet remains for Cloud9. Seems that they might be ready for Anubis after all.
I like that ENCE have gone for this map, partly because they are a team who go for a lot of these executes on their T side in general. On certain maps like Mirage, they will just call for a lot of set plays straight away. And I think when you're first figuring a map out, if you can come up with some new set plays, some new executes, there's a chance the CTs won't know how to respond, and that can actually be a big advantage this early. If you can throw a whole new execute that people fully aren't ready for, they don't know how to think ahead of time, and they might make mistakes. So I'm hoping we see more of that from ENCE. For now, though, no nades, and Axel wants some eco frags.
While this eco round goes on, I just want to mention something that I've seen on Reddit recently in terms of people optimizing their PC setups and so on. I saw in the recommendations that people said, oh, you should put your shadows on low to get more FPS, but your shadows should always be on high, because the higher your shadow settings are, the further away you can see those shadows from. So you can keep an eye, pay attention to the angle of the shadows on this map and how important they can be, especially for a CT side trying to defend, where it might be a map which can be a lot riskier for them to try and take back some map control. Those shadows can be also so important. There we go. So that is something you definitely want to have on high. Well, that was a more or less a nothing round. Just trying to do any bonus damage they could, ENCE. And now the real game begins. The first buy round for both squads here. 3-0 for Cloud9. ENCE still looking for their first. AWP is out for St. Pius.
Looks like more of a default this time from ENCE. So we'll get to see those early map control protocols. You can see that smoke down, obscuring the vision of Hobbit. And oftentimes that mid control is pretty important. Madden taking a ton of damage through that smoke, but he still wants to contest for that control.
If you've got a keen eye, then you will know that you've got to be careful around these smokes, especially if HGs are thrown around them. just like that. They can be somewhat revealing. That was a deeper one, though. That was meant for damage. But Snappy's sitting pretty on 91 HP. Pop flash, swing, and a miss. No permanent damage done, though. Valde says hello, tries to keep the CTs honest, but it seems they're going to go back again with 2 men this time. But Valde's changed his position. He might find both of them. And now there's a decision to make here for Shiro. That's outrageous. Comes back with the USP. I think a lot of people just fall back there and think, we can't have 2 people go down. Never mind that, though, for Shiro. 4 versus 3 now. Man advantage gained by Nafany. 40 seconds on the clock. That does really raise the urgency. Hobbit's got a sound to given away. He knows the second player is there. Can he catch Snappy, though? He's kind of stuck, but that's a big headshot from him. 35 seconds. Bomb still in control of St. Pius. Not sure how much of the bomb Cloud9 have seen recently. But Shiro's got a very strong angle. St. Pius coming in from the left-hand side.
And the rotate's arriving from Nafany. He's going to get to this B site to help just in time.
Smoke to create some space, but they have to get that bomb planted. Will they even be able to get into the zone? Shiro's in the flames now, sees ahead, but he can't land a shot. Still alive for the time being. Another unlikely miss from him. 2 versus 2. Now Nafany moving forward, takes down the support. Bomb plant's not going to happen. No time left. Can't find the frags. 4-0 for Cloud9.
Yeah, if ENCE went slightly sooner there, they'd have actually had a chance to try and trade onto the site, but little did they know Cloud9 had players rotating in at the right time, and you see how much difference Nafany makes. They weren't ready for him to be in that sneaky little corner towards the bomb site. This is a position you see a lot of mollies and nades go back and forth in, so I was a little surprised to see Hobbit commit, because those mollies are quite common. The 1-for-1 ended up being enough because they were already a man to the good. The rotate arrived. Cloud9, you can see, looking very relaxed. Maybe not relaxed, though, because there's a quick B play at the ready.
That's very fortunate for Cloud9, but look at the swarm of ENCE players. They've got to find some more kills. The trades are here eventually. 1v3, though. St. Pius has found himself a nice, juicy weapon, and down goes Nafany. Big damage already, and maybe a chance to win the round. Getting dinked through the corner of the wall, surely, with only 17 damage done. St. Pius is 1 versus 2. He knows every second that goes, it's going to be harder to win this round. He's got to find Buster soon. Misses the no-scope. The USP will do the job. That could have been worse for Cloud9. You saw one go past Hobbit as the flashbangs came through. A very fast round. A nice attempt there, but still looking for their first round.
Yeah, they are a team who like these sorts of executes. And they played this one so quickly, I could barely even see it coming. This seemed like it was mainly flashes and a single smoke. The issue is there were a couple of Cloud9 players here ahead of time. And really, if you are going for a fast execute, it is likely going to be towards that B site. So when you're against a lower buy like this, you can have players stacked in position. Cloud9 very well prepared here, and any questions about their Anubis look to be answered pretty early. First time we're seeing them on the map, and they have had a very strong start in this one.
Yeah, and I love the confidence we're seeing in that response after winning the round from Cloud9, because, you know, that was a real test. That was definitely a practice execute from ENCE, and one that could have gone ENCE's way. That was a dangerous one. It was an expensive one. We can see the damage that was done to the economy. That can pay off for ENCE later. But for now, the clean sheet remains. The Colgate smile, the pearly whites for Cloud9 as they look for round 6 in a row.
That smile might be getting wider and wider if they can keep this up. Some standard mid-utility, the molly and the smoke, but Nafany's ahead of them. Madden gets caught out, and now Cloud9 see there isn't actually that much mid-presence. So they just drop back with the man advantage and make ENCE have to think about what the hell they can do to get back into this.
Yeah, that might slow down any intentions ENCE had, lacking the mid-presence and the information.
Even more aggression, maybe. Ooh, they've lost someone elsewhere, though.
Yeah, Hobbit has been dropped. So, 4 versus 4. Normally equal numbers below 5 will favor the T's. Time is on their side. Snappy with some nice angles, but Buster remains at half health. That might be enough. We shall see. Never mind. Down he goes. Valde will finish off the job on 4 HP, and that's going to activate Exile to try and find out what's happening elsewhere on the map. Fast moving round now. 45 seconds on the clock. Smoke goes, and so does Nafany at the hands of Snappy. Maybe this is finally the round where ENCE get one on the board. But Shiro is lurking with an AWP. Going to stop the bomb plant. Not even on the rifle yet. That may thwart a time. Exile from out of nowhere in the mist like a humidifier, just coming out and dropping the bomb carrier. But now Shiro has the clutch. 1 versus 2. Again, Valde's got 4 HP, but that's enough when you're against an AWP. 18 seconds on the clock for that bomb to get planted. Just now collected by Pius, which leaves Valde to try and cover the angles. Going for the wallbangs is Shiro, but it's planted elsewhere.
Not an easy clutch. Doesn't even have a kit right now. And Shiro is an AWPer who likes to lean on the more conservative side. It almost looked like ENCE weren't even ready for Axile to be such a madman and just charge the bomb site like that. They had no one defending their bomb planter. This was an important fight, though, and Snappy's been playing pretty well here to start the play-ins. He had a good opening game as well. He's towards the top of the board right now for ENCE as their in-game leader, which is always great to see. And finally, a round win for ENCE. Those pearly whites have got a slight stain in them now, James. Just a slight one.
If we go back to that rush round from ENCE into the bomb site where they left 2 Cloud9 players standing, the damage they did in that round may be the decision for Shiro to save here rather than go for the 1 versus 2, because their money was maimed. It was very much maimed in that round. Economy took a bit of a mauling, and they'll need to try and cobble the coffers together to muster a good buy from this round. And they've got a reasonable buy. AWP, of course, will be even more important now. ENCE on the board finally. 1 to the 5 of Cloud9, not too far away at all. We're just getting started here, just getting warmed up. ENCE lost their mid presence early in the round prior. They'll be more careful this time. Minute 30 on the clock now. We have seen aggression in many of these rounds from Cloud9 as well. Not shy to have a look in mid, not shy to have a swing or a push for a bomb site. So ENCE have to be careful because they know Cloud9 are not shy.
Yeah, and we have that similar setup from Cloud9 over towards A with Axile and Shiro here. So Axile is jiggle peeking, then there's Shiro with the AWP a little further back, which could be unexpected. And I think it also gives the opportunity for Axile to make an info play if he feels the timing is right. Right now, though, it is just the mid control for ENCE. Most teams on CT side are going to have to give this up in the majority of rounds. Now the question is, what can ENCE do with it? Because you still have to find a way to split onto a site. 43 seconds remaining, and it looks like that A site may be the call, but it is 2 of Cloud9's star players here, Axile and Shiro, both ready on the hold.
Time is running low, and it's time to commit. We've got 5 players making their way into the A bomb site here. Big trouble for the CTs, but they'll deliver. Axile by the pillar. Look at the cross he has from Shiro. Never mind. The shrapnel will take him down. Shiro needs to deliver now. He's buying time for his team to rotate, trying to find an angle for a grenade, but there are 14 seconds to plant this bomb. Nafany goes down. Valde 4 HP again. 1 versus 3. Now none versus 3. They can't get that all-important consecutive round. Cloud9 avoid going to eco and have survived with 3.
That is so solid from Cloud9. That setup was perfectly played to focus on the mid side of the push first. ENCE wanted to split the site through mid and through main, but instead Shiro gets the first. Axile, even though he's positioned towards main, is able to catch the mid player out, and then this is easy as you like for Shiro. Holding an angle, no more nades left because ENCE used all those nades previously to get into position, and he can just sit back, put him in a 4v2 and say, ENCE, you are screwed. And they were.
Lots of data being gleaned by both of these squads. Actually, in terms of data, Anubis provides an interesting scenario. New map into the map pool. We talk about coaches and analysts, but in terms of habits of different teams and so on, always good to have an analyst to make notes on things such as that, and especially early in a map pool cycle. That can prove very valuable indeed. Let's see what other junk ENCE have got to throw at Cloud9. We might be getting to kitchen sink territory on this T side now with 1 round from 7. Early grenades from both sides. And as we mentioned before, Cloud9 are not shy to get aggressive early. 2 for 1, they'll take that all day.
Oh, Nafany's going to get even more. Repositioned too far out, almost towards the boat. And they've rocked the boat in this round, and ENCE aren't enjoying it, trying to find fights elsewhere, but they didn't realize Shiro is still on that B site, chilling with the AWP, having an incredibly efficient stat line right now, 10 and 2. And Madden's left in a 1v4, the bomb's all the way back up there. He's probably wondering how this went so wrong, but I'm loving the aggression from Cloud9.
ENCE were like, what map don't you want? And Cloud9 were like, yes.
They're not fussed.
1 minute to clutch. Marden's collected the bomb. To the A bomb site he goes. Smoke lands in his face. Quick jump peek. Did Nafany even see that? He's still standing in position. There's a chance. There's an opportunity. No one else is here. Does he gamble on a bomb plant? He doesn't know what lies behind those walls. Create some space for himself. The utility will be thrown, but it will not be respected by Cloud9. And down he goes. Exile is confident, and he will secure the bag. Keeping the numbers alive. Cloud9 secure another round.
Solid stuff. Cloud9 showing us exactly what they can do on this map. And yeah, the aggression has been really well timed from them. It's often early in the round, and yeah, it's still catching ENCE off guard. Really impressive. And then this is exactly what Shiro wants to do. He just wants to be holding angles and having people peek him when they aren't ready for him. The 1-2 punch of Axel and Shiro has been on point. And for ENCE, this map pick not going according to plan. We were expecting Cloud9 to be pretty solid favorites, I would say here, even with the addition of Buster, maybe making things a little more unknown. They have been a team consistently making playoffs, having good runs. We've just been waiting for them to reach that next level where they can truly compete for trophies. Try and add themselves to that Hall of Heroes once more. For Shiro, again, he's playing over towards A. This time misses his opportunity, but he's playing a position where he can fall back safely.
Cloud9 not really allowing ENCE to control the pace by guarantee, if you will. They are being very proactive on their CT side. We can see the aggressive positions on the radar towards the A bomb site, for example, between Shiro and Exile. Rifle support for the AWP. Hobbit, though, with some pre-fire, just showing some presence around that dark position. It's a very deep smoke grenade. Perhaps it goes too far. We shall see. Well, he's gone too far on this occasion. Snappy is here. They're looking to capitalize on this. That sound cue was heard by Buster. Does he bait off of his teammate? Catches Snappy with a nade in his hand, and there's more in tow. The bomb spotted now, but Buster's been swatted. Nafany's here. He must deliver. He won't. 4 versus 2. Shiro has an angle. Surely this time ENCE can plant the bomb.
Finally getting that bomb down. And even though you've used all your utility, it doesn't matter when you get into an advantageous position like this. Nothing Cloud9 can do towards that B site.
Yeah, it might be safe territory for Cloud9 at this point. One player reconnecting, but Shiro and Exile, I think they'll save in their positions and fall off as necessary.
I may be a little surprised by Cloud9's setup, because they have Shiro and Axel both towards A. And it's quite hard to rotate away from A back to this B site. You'd think of those as the 2-star players for this Cloud9 team.
Yeah, I think they were maybe trying to pick off a lurker or something, because while we were looking at the action towards the B bomb site on the A site, I could see it on the radar that they were in a line together. So I think Exile was playing off of Shiro's shot if somebody peeked them. I don't know if they were going to try and move forward through A, but maybe it was just bad timing in terms of the round where they chose that aggression. That was an all-important pick onto Hobbit. And you can see the urgency afterwards from Snappy. Sadly for him, he got caught with a grenade in his hands, but his teammates came through and delivered. dycha with a very important kill.
Oh, and here is a switch up from Shiro. He is now playing back on that B site. So it looks like he's been given a lot of freedom to just pick his position. Wherever he feels the AWP is needed, that's where he will decide to go. Not seeing the same pace from ENCE in this round, though. Happy to wait out that early utility.
4 flashes in the hands of Cloud9 with 1:20 on the clock. Make it 3 now. Curious to see if they'll use them for aggression or just to try and deter something. You can see Hobbit lining up a left and right click flash. Just thwarting any timing as ENCE try to secure the mid position. Now, what information have C9 got in terms of what ENCE might be up to here? How do they make a read on this? There is that pop flash aggression I was talking about. They're trying to go for some information now. They may have trouble, though, towards that B bomb site. The bomb is in tow. dycha moving forward now.
And the B players don't have the utility to slow this down anymore. They've used their smokes and mollies.
They'll have a crossfire, but for how long? So many trade fragging opportunities here. You can see Hobbit dancing with the FAMAS. He's got a very tough job. Rings the Billups and Pius, but he's still alive. He can still swing. Buster's fallen to the Molotov before he can help his teammate. And there are huge problems on this B-bomb site, but there's a flank coming in from Nafany. Shiro's here, good for one. Bomb about to get planted late in the round again. But it will be successful. 2 versus 3. I don't think they back off from this one, but as Nafany falls, I don't know how much more there is for Axile to do. 1 versus 3, made 2. He drops dycha, but he's got 13 HP. Almost dropped himself, and he will have to disengage.
If that first kill was cleaner, he could have considered it, but he took significant damage from the swing of dycha. The unfortunate thing there for Cloud9 was Shiro was the man arriving on the rotate. And it's really hard rotating with that AWP to the B site and being stuck behind those smokes. You saw eventually he got involved once the smokes faded, but even then, if you commit towards that B site, you maybe get the one shot off with the AWP, and ENCE were in position to trade because they had so many players swarm the site. So nice to see ENCE play one of these slower rounds successfully, and they might be finding a name for themselves, a home for themselves on that B bomb site. Couple of effective rounds for them there now. And they finally put Cloud9 into a poor economic position. Tactical timeout taken. They can't be loving the look of their buy. Probably have to almost fully save this one.
Yeah, this is the window of opportunity that ENCE have finally created for themselves. Cloud9 here and there, been playing within an inch of their economy. Finally been broken now, it looks like. Axile saving in that round has been instrumental in a number of these rounds for Cloud9. You saw him making those plays through the smoke. 12 for 5 at the moment is Axile. Shiro just 1 behind on 11. Those two have been lighting up the kill feed so far. Snappy's leading for ENCE with 8 frags to 9 deaths. Of course, the road has been arid and arduous for ENCE thus far on the T side, but now they've got a chance to catch up, and they could catch up quick. 4 rounds away. Axile, though, will still be dangerous with this AK-47. 1 flash in the hands of Nafany, and I'm sure he's got some kind of dastardly plan with that flash as well.
Yeah, I guess the nice thing is we've seen Cloud9 already run a couple of aggressive plays, so clearly they have ideas as to how to try to get this AK activated. I'm actually just going to stack the A site right now. Axile's going to hope he can use them as bait here. And he might have a chance to.
A lot of grenades have been dropped in that T-nest of grenades for the execute in. So they can do chain flashes for days, I would imagine. Axile is here, though. He's got 2 kills now, looking for a third one. There it is. And Shiro's just holding an angle in the meantime, and he'll drop the AK to him. This could collapse now. If they see Axile dead on the kill feed later on, do they think the AK is down? Do they think they can run in? If they exit the bomb site, they lose rifles as well. There's a lot of problems here for ENCE, regardless of what they choose to do. We can see the angles are being held now. Nafany, he could even potentially hold a pixel angle and go for something dirty. He'll have some sound cues from Snappy. They know at least one of the 2 remaining players is here. Do they go and get a second rifle? There is a risk. Nafany doesn't see anything. They know that they're coming now. Down goes Axile. Do they think the AK is down? Because it's in the hands of Shiro. He's good for 1. 1v1 now as Nafany comes in with the flank. Is he expecting this Snappy? Does he look everywhere except behind him? Oh, Nafany's coming. He's done half the job, and there's the rest of it. We said it was still dangerous. That was a must-win for ENCE, but they failed to do it. The eco round, the hero round. Talk about Hall of Heroes. Axile was already leading with the frags. That has got to be frustrating for ENCE.
Yeah, he was so quick to give that AK to a teammate as well once he realized that was the best course of action. This initial spray is nice because you see the angle they come out is really similar. It's basically just a full spray from Axile that he commits to, and he still has enough ammo for that final player. ENCE only committed with 3 players to the site itself, though, and that seemed like it was the biggest issue there. They had those 2 players left behind. Maybe they thought it would be a slightly easier take, but as soon as the first few go down, the other players aren't in position to follow up. Otherwise, Axile would have been caught with his pants down. He would have been out of ammo, but they just didn't have that 1 extra player, and it ends up being so costly.
Credit to the USP players as well, though, positioning themselves to enable Exile to get the better opportunities. You saw one player was jiggling on this pillar to the right-hand side, trying to pull the crosshairs away, and then Exile swings in and says thank you and good night. Understanding the situation, low health, giving it to Shiro. Exile down in the kill feed. Shiro delivers enough to allow Nafany, who was playing the information from the back, to come in and finish off the job. Ding and the dong with the USP. A very unlikely round. And that, I think, a round like that shows the strength of Cloud9. ENCE have to convert that round, and they failed to do so. Finally getting some revenge on Exile with the opening frag of the round, but can they get the last one as well?
They've lost Exile early over towards A. Nafany has had to leave mid to reinforce that A bomb site, but Cloud9 are still sticking with 3 players towards B. Even though they've lost a player early, they want to keep this B site control. They want to make sure this defense is solid. Those nades continue to go back and forth. Another smoke plopped down to buy extra time, but now ENCE might be finding the weak point. You can see on the mini-map, mid is wide open, and Madden has started to make a move up into mid. So this could be a very powerful position to be able to split onto one of these sites.
Heading towards the 40-second mark, where urgency always rises, regardless of the map. Sub 40 seconds, always a factor, and here we are. 4 players still remaining for Cloud9, holding on to their last pieces of utility for as long as possible. The timing of this smoke grenade cannot be underestimated, because look at how many T's are around it. This could really put ENCE in a horrible situation, but maybe Madden can find something in mid. Then again, maybe he can't. Nafany will take him down from the A bomb site. 3 CTs now on B for Cloud9. They've picked the right bomb site as ENCE are still edging their way forward. Shiro says hello. Buster and Hobbit come in as well, and Valde is left to pick up the pieces. 1 versus 4. It might be a question of trying to do some damage, but can he really move from this position? He may even die after time. Cloud9 can't afford to lose too much money, though, so they might not hunt, but it's another failed attempt from ENCE.
Hobbit's late utility was absolutely everything in that round. He puts the smoke down to slow down that push, but he also had the molly out towards B long as that push was coming in, and that's why every Cloud9 player was looking in this same position. Nafany cutting off the flank certainly helped, but you see everyone is looking on this same angle because they've mollied B long, so it's just a complete destruction of anything ENCE were even trying. And fair play to Cloud9, they stuck with their guns, they stuck with 3 on B, and it paid off.
Man like Hobbit, certified geezer. Certified by UK Mans, Bardoff and Hawker on wax.
I love Hobbit. Who doesn't love Hobbit, really?
No, he's great. He's a gentleman. And on the servers, he is a gangster. 5 versus 4. Cloud9 are playing off each other very well on this CT side, and it looks to continue with the setup we have here in mid. Snappy knows there must be something amiss in this situation. He's got Shiro off the angle, some pre-fire, but Shiro comes back to take advantage of that, baiting off of his teammate there to deliver the frag. Now the urgency's rising for ENCE as they try to make their way in towards A with what remains. They have to swing, they have to use the numbers, but Shiro and Exile will deny them. Shiro is everywhere, and Exile seems to be the last man you want to meet on this server right now.
Oh, I love those beefy M4A4 sprays that we've got back on the server now. Exile controlling that one really effectively. Not always easy to do, but he made it look easy on that double kill. And it is tough to play Cloud9. When you got Shiro and Exile popping off, they've just got so much firepower with the stars on this team.
They seem to be very in sync as well. As you saw there, for example, Shiro forced off the angle, but he understands the mission. His teammate is being sprayed through the wall, so he comes straight back. Another fast round from ENCE, and there will be a trade, 4 versus 4, as Buster will spot the bomb. That means full rotation coming through. How much will be needed, though? Valde in the clutch now, trying to find another. Nafany will finish off the job. 3 survive for Cloud9 and deny another fast ENCE push.
Yeah, ENCE are going for a couple of these B pops with their low buys, but they just don't have the oomph behind it. After the initial utility is gone, there's nothing else left. There are no further flashes. Pretty comfortably hold on with their crossfires. And this was a pick from ENCE, attempted to catch Cloud9 off guard, which has not paid off for them. Cloud9 still have their own map pick coming up. They're already 11-3 up. And a lot of Anubis games we've seen so far have had really solid T sides. Not here for ENCE. They've been destroyed by Cloud9.
Exile 17 for 7, but now Shiro is 17 for 4, and Hobbit's trying to catch up as well. ENCE are being dismantled like Lego at the moment. Dycha, Snappy, Sampayas remain, and you can see how desperate things are to try and find something in one of these rounds. Find an opening, find a chance, find a way to pull rotation, something, but they are being denied. All the doors are being closed by Cloud9. Not a fan of exit rows. Snappy and Sampayas remain, and now it's just Sampayas with the AWP. Been spotted with the jump, and now he knows his time is limited. The sun will go down early for him in round number 15 as the trade comes in from none other than Hobbit for a monstrous half from Cloud9. It is halftime, that means it's break time. When we're back, we'll see if ENCE can bring it back. We'll see you soon. And we are back. back in the Hall of Heroes. If you're just joining us, where have you been? Cloud9 are on a heater in the rivers of Anubis, currently running red with ENCE juice. Perhaps they can turn things around in the second half now as ENCE moves to the CT side.
Looking clean, looking sharp. I would like to see more of Cloud9's T side, but honestly, we might not get the chance to if they keep up at the pace they've been going. We got the pistol buys out, a couple of pieces of utility for ENCE, the dualies, and a kit for them in play. Meanwhile, for Cloud9, Buster fully taking on the Inter's role. He's going to be the utility man for this pistol. He's got a full set of nades on the pistol round.
Indeed he does. No P250s or dualies in the hands of Cloud9 for that additional one-shot range.
Look at this stack from ENCE. They've got 3 players on the A site and a quick rotate from mid. This could be brutal.
Mans, as we say in London. 4-man on road for ENCE in
man.
the A bomb site, and there's a lot of junk coming their way. But that is a choke point, which may be challenging to defeat. They have to try and abuse those numbers, but they go into the crossfire. And ENCE will have a very good time of things so far. They've got a bomb as well. Those dualies only require 1 or 2 shots from dycha, saying Dzień dobry to Buster. Shiro now has got much work to do. 1 minute to find 4 players. The bomb's committed in the bomb site as well, so he won't be too much of a surprise when he finally appears. We'll see if he can add to his tally. A great start from ENCE, and dycha will deliver. So they take the pistol, much needed from ENCE. Many of these rounds will be. Starters, you mean to go on?
I love that setup from ENCE. Having the dualies in that close position, they kind of let the pillar player take some initial contact, and that almost made it just more confusing. But you see dycha's actually the one getting it all done, even though they're looking at him, which was wild. So big props to dycha on home soil, doing what he does best. And I think ENCE need a couple more of their star players to show up. So that's nice to see. We have got Shiro on the scout, so Nafany has spent all his money to give this scout to Shiro. Everyone else has got pretty much nothing. And there we go. That unexpected scout has now been spotted. Oh, I wouldn't peek this. Yeah, get out of there.
Those fast executes from ENCE were quite interesting. They were so fast we didn't necessarily see all of them from the very beginning on the T side. My question is, though, what will they have to offer us on their CT side? Of course, this is their pick. So they must have confidence in this. Cloud9 were ready for the test in the first half, but we did see a very proactive Cloud9 as well. We saw them not shy to play off of pop flashes, re-entry in the mid position, push either bomb site. Now, will ENCE do the same? They don't have the room to be shy. They have to take risks, regardless of the scoreline. But this may be a moment of rest, a moment of calm before the chaos to come. As Cloud9 will play the clock down, but they're not playing with much, of course. The Glock's to P250. Best gun in the game, if you ask me. And the scout onto Shiro as well.
Value for money on the P250 is crazy. I almost feel like I always want to get one. Like, even if I had $300 exactly, I'd still want to get one. Because it feels so much better than the Glock.
It's perfect.
Ooh, hello, and goodbye to Madden. Oh, and another tag from Shiro.
Yeah, things are getting nervous now. 20 seconds on the clock to plant the bomb. Don't see that happening anytime soon, but the damage might be enough. 2 players, they didn't invest too much into that round. Keep the CT economy honest. It's in the right direction.
And I think we'll see why it was Nafany that dropped the scout now, because he's the in-game leader of the team and also very often willing to play very aggressive. So he'll just take a Tech 9, a Mac 10, something of the sort, and probably be flying in early in this round. So that works out fine for Cloud9. They're not too fussed about that. Everyone else should have AKs, and it will be an early test for ENCE. And really, every round is key for ENCE right now. The pressure is always on them at this point.
Yeah. There may be time to collect a rifle later on, but then perhaps his opportunity will be to swing and potentially die. Take the crosshairs away to create some space, create a breaking point for their opponent by trade frags. We shall see. 7-round deficit for ENCE to try and recover from. And Martin will take over the reins from Hobbit to ask questions of the M4A4 spray and try to avoid all those grenades bouncing through as well. Very much a war of attrition here, but this is only 2 of the 4 players that will be soon surrounding this bomb site. Marden caught with a grenade, but still delivers the kill. How has he managed to do that?
Oh, the Tech9 of Nafany thought he had the chance to run and gun. And honestly, I'm surprised that Madden was going for that deep smoke there. Didn't realize how quickly they could have got up close. Got a little lucky to get away with it. But he wins the all-important early fight. And now Cloud9 have to figure out what is their backup plan. Because right now, you don't have much utility. You don't have any flashes. And breaching that B bomb site against 3 CTs, it doesn't look like the answer right now, but it's all they've got.
25 seconds.
dycha's got more nades. If they need to retake, it looks scary.
Got to land that headshot, but now St. Pius will just be trolling. Bombs dropped, and I don't think there's anything else left for them in this one. Hold on to what they have. Looks like all events will be surviving and maybe getting some upgrades, which is a fantastic result, especially so early into the half. No bomb plant for Cloud9 as an added bonus.
The economy might be a bit awkward for Cloud9 in general when you save 2 guns like this. Hobbit and Shiro both don't get any bonus money as a punishment. So they'll have to figure out, do they want to just buy now and equalize the money? Or would they rather just have those other players save a bit of cash? I think they've gone for the former route rather than the latter. They're going for another buy, but that means only 2 premium rifles for Cloud9. And if ENCE can control this economy game, that is the best way back for them.
Extremely limited on utility. It's going to be a lot. Oh my days. Hobbit is absolutely disgusting. 2 entries into the bomb site. Exactly what they needed, but they have lost the bomb. And that could change everything. He'll try to delay with an incendiary, St. Pius. We'll see if it will do the job. No, it won't actually. Nafany's collected the bomb and he's collected dycha as well. The dream is collapsing for ENCE thanks to Hobbit. 4 versus 2 now. What is there for ENCE to do? That is a shell shock of a round. Jumping for information turned into a jack-in-the-box by Hobbit.
It almost looked like Hobbit was playing like one of those pre-fire maps there, where you just get ready for the next angle, boom, boom, into the bomb site. No one really firing back at him. It looked like that smoke down onto B long was just a little off. And it seemed like that was almost what allowed the angle for Hobbit initially. And once he gets the first entry, the second player obviously isn't expecting that position to fall so soon.
So early.
Yeah.
Before I could even finish my sentence.
Well, we saw those contact points are pretty early on this map if you don't use that utility. Chad showed us earlier in a lovely video.
I was about to say, with such little utility, they're going to have to find the entries, and boy, did they do that. Well, the margin for error for ENCE compounds. It gets even smaller. Cloud9 are 3 rounds away from winning their opponent's pick of Anubis. We've got a big buy from ENCE. The AWP will be out for St. Pius. They've got plenty of grenades as well. But now so have Cloud9. Again, there were shortcomings.
Maybe
they were solved. Yeah, they've got a tech pause, so this round is not live. As we come to 6. Is there a way that ENCE come back into this game?
At least they still have the full buy, but it doesn't feel likely just because we've seen that it's not that hard to get rounds on the T side of this map. I think the upside for ENCE is, you said St. Pius has got that AWP out. That's always a very good sign because ENCE have been saying he is the secondary caller for this team since he's been brought in. He's helping out with a lot of ideas. So on the CT side with the AWP, in theory, that's a perfect place to put that to use and to come up with those ideas, try and get some advantages for the team. But it does seem as though ENCE are not expecting Cloud9 to look this damn good early on this one.
Cloud9 with some very interesting tests last year. Had some wins and losses especially, which will turn boys into men.
You even saw Axel come out and say recently, once they got knocked out of the major by Mouse, he realized they kind of had to make a move because this roster has stayed together for a long, long time. And they felt like they needed to do something to just shake it up. Maybe get a bit more experience in the team to help out with those sort of pressure matchups. But in the group stages, Cloud9 have always been fantastic. And here at the play-in, they have started incredibly strong.
The early utility comes out. St. Pius hunting. Saw one go from right to left. Some cheeky information being sought. Doesn't pull the trigger though. So C9 may not know where the AWP might be lying. I love how short this mid area is. Such an interesting prospect into professional Counter-Strike. Valde finds 2 headshots for both. dycha, sorry.
It's like a bad game of Jenga. You pull one piece out, the tower goes falling down. And this might be a bit too much from Valde, but it doesn't matter. He's got another kill. Who am I to complain?
Love it. You need to have your guys playing with confidence. Shiro will get an open up, but now it might be a question of damage again. He doesn't have the bomb with him, but if he can find some kills, then as we saw from ENCE, it might pay off later. 44 seconds on the clock, and if the bomb's been spotted, then they won't pursue, I would imagine. As there are bigger fish to fry, and that is a very big fish indeed. A Goliath grouper as far as Shiro is concerned. I'm sure he'll be looking to pick that up a little later on.
I think he might have his eyes on that AWP being saved. Certainly no stranger to it. Already saw him save it once or twice earlier when he had the opportunity. ENCE may not let that happen though. As the time is about to run out, you can see ENCE on the minimap.
They can't afford really to chase him though.
It's tough.
It's an expensive risk. Very expensive indeed. So it's somewhat of a rough spot for ENCE to go after this AWP. And Shiro will secure it into the next round. So 13-7. The money is somewhat ropey for Cloud9. And ENCE will surely feel like they're not so far away now. One for dycha, one for Valde. They'll share the spoils.
And I don't think that flash could have been better. Literally landed in the face.
Very meaty. Reuben sandwich level. ENCE now. Again, sports psychology. Don't focus on 6 rounds, focus on 1 round 6 times. Could focus on short-term goals, focus on double figures, focus on making it to 10. Opportunity knocks.
Taking control of what you can in your life. In the present moment. I'm like a bad guru right now.
If you did a self-help audiobook, I'd recommend it. You've got a good voice for it.
Thank you. Well, Madden again. In this similar position. This time they've got the AWP on some Pius trained on the angle early. So this is something we haven't seen before. And it might mean that if Cloud9 come this way, they don't fully expect him. But he is now going to reposition. Cloud9, a team often very happy to play in the default early in the round. I'd say that's actually a contrast between these two teams. ENCE are a team who love their fast plays. Cloud9 much more happy to take their time, play methodically across the map. Now we are seeing them move in towards top mid. And dycha may have to give up this area of the map. He smoked himself off.
Yeah, buys time but denies information, although we can see he's got a gap to try and keep an eye on people making their way over. But as you can see, he has conceded himself further into the bomb site. So ENCE are somewhat blind now. They could be collapsed upon. There are still 2 players towards the other side of the map, so they could be in a lot of trouble here. St. Pius will deliver first. dycha having a look. Somewhat blind, but we've got 3 C9 players looking for a plan B now. 16 seconds. Is there time for this? Martin swinging. And he will be traded, but surely they can't make it to the bomb site. This should be 3 kills for Snappy. He just waits until the right time. Oh, he's got to look to his right, though. Hold on a second. This is turning around. They've planted the bomb. 2 versus 3 for Cloud9. Buster and a big AWP on Shiro. Again, they play together. They play for a crossfire. Down goes St. Pius. The numbers are even now, but only for a time. Valde has to clutch it. How have they done this, Cloud9? From pillar to post, from site to site. They force their way in, use the trade frags, and off they go.
Well, that's a perfect example of Cloud9 loving these long, slow, drawn-out rounds. And the fact that Shiro gets back from A all the way into this position to stop Snappy from being able to deny the bomb is brilliant. And then Shiro's in a post plant on the site, no nades to worry about, just full focus on landing the shots. And I think you can see Madden realizing that right there might have been the map slipping out of their hands because their buy is bad on the ENCE side.
How about that for a contrast in body language? That was the hardest facepalm I've seen in recent memory. And they know, again, the margin for error is paper thin. ENCE with half the score of their opponent. Cloud9, 2 rounds away from their opponent's map pick. The implications are not comfortable for ENCE. Nothing is a guarantee, though, including the map win for Cloud9. But look at what ENCE have to fight with. It is rough. 5-7s can be dangerous, but they are far from ideal. Cloud9 with over a minute on the clock here.
Gosh, Shiro is such a stats monster. 23-7. He had a couple of games like this at the Major too, where against these lower level teams, he was just dominating. ENCE aren't even a lower level team though. They're a solid squad to go up against. And he's still putting up fantastic numbers. Still hasn't had a negative KD map since the Major. 15 maps in a row, all positive for Shiro. And now Nafany jumping in with a MAC-10, having a field day. This B site has fallen incredibly quickly. I don't think ENCE can do anything about it, but the bomb's dropped. Hang on a second, dycha's got the bomb. And that makes things awkward.
What is the bomb doing there? They're so far away from everybody else on the squad. They've got
to boost back up.
They've got horrible positions to try and make it. We've got a KZ map to try and catch the bomb, and it will be denied. The admin says no.
I completely overlooked that that was even a possibility, because it seemed so obvious it was a B play.
Well, that is the relief that ENCE needed. That'll give them something. You could see the weakness that Cloud9 could smell with that MAC-10 play. He's going in dry and delivering a headshot immediately. But ENCE are still here. A stroke of fortune in their favor as these teams have been trading rounds for a while. The last 3 rounds ENCE have won have all been by timeout, and no one has won a consecutive round for a while.
Wonder if we do see Cloud9 go for a pace change at any point. Maybe not now because you've still got Shiro on the AWP. You don't want to throw him into some chaotic scenarios. Smoke down early. Shiro asking for the boost over the top of it to try and deny the aggression, but it's Snappy pushing through the sewers instead. Ooh, it's not easy to get back from here. Could be the issue for Snappy.
Oh!
Another smoke.
Oh my god. That is painful. That's a lot of damage. It's like being naded in a corridor. Rather you than me, guys. But still, we've got a 5-on-5. Shiro will be less concerned than Exile, who maybe have to fight in the trenches with that Galil. Nafany with the AK, 45 HP for him as well. This could be capitalized upon later on. Cutting noise now, Cloud9. Hence have to wonder what might be happening. Sampayas could be key here with his position. Heading towards the B bomb site, though. He'll leave mid to dycha instead. So far, so good. Buster dropped. Grenades are being... They're going to cost him his life as Nafany comes in with the swing with the Tech 9. Great timing again. Denial of information now from Cloud9. Does he take the risk and pass? Does he make a play through this smoke? Trying to keep Cloud9 off of game point here. We've got Valde lurking on the site now, and no stranger to clutching. Snappy's here for support as well. 25 seconds, and things are turning around in ENCE's favor. Exile, 1 versus 3, 20 seconds to try and plant his bomb. Snappy creeping and delivering a very big headshot. ENCE are not done just yet.
If you're a site anchor, take a look at that round from Valde. Played it perfectly. Got to a position where he wasn't exposed from mid whatsoever. It was going to take them a long, long time to get to him. And he still had his smoke as well. So he just plops one down, plays around it, buys that extra bit of time that ENCE needed to have other players also get in position. And even though this mid play looked pretty solid for Cloud9 initially, they just got slowed for far too long. And then this is Valde playing around this smoke, realizing survival is key. And now Cloud9 don't have much in this round, but they've bought 5 nades. We could be about to see an airstrike onto this A-bomb site.
5 high explosive grenades.
You got to have a plan for them, right? If you've got 3 Glocks in there.
Minimal noise being offered. Sand cues from all of one player, but all 5 are here. And there's an update from the B stream in the meantime. Magic's in the clutch here, 1 versus 3.
Looking good for NIP though, to 2-0. And that confirms it. 2-0 win for NIP, despite bringing Config in.
Yeah, the interview with Alexi B earlier was very interesting indeed. More on that later, as slowly Cloud9 are creeping in. They have an idea of where the airstrike wants to go. And that's it. The third one will do the job. That's a bomb plant surely secured as the ants are running around. It's almost like a game of lemmings now, but they're not trying to save them, ants. They're trying to eliminate them instead. An AK's been collected by Shiro, and now the round might be dangerous. Maybe it won't be, though, as he will be taken down by dycha. 4 versus 3. Nafni collected the rifle. Rifle lost. And now it's just down to Hobbit. They'll take 2 players and plant the bomb, so they've done enough to push forward. But now ENCE make it to 10 rounds. Double figures. Psychologically, this is a barrier broken down.
Yeah, not a bad round for them, all in all. You get the nade stack onto the site. Seems like they kind of started to figure out where Valda was playing around this site, so they could land all these nades, get the bomb down. But the post plant was always going to be the tricky part. No nades and not much to work with. Allowed ENCE to really rip through them. Now it is a full buy for Cloud9, though. This is what they've been waiting for to try and close out this map. It has been a bit of a comeback from ENCE.
4 of the last 6 rounds for ENCE. 3 rounds in a row for them now. Momentum maybe starting to build. But this is a big round for both squads, not just ENCE. Cloud9 have had ropey buys for a while, but now Shiro is back with the scope, and that means pain for anybody walking into it. Valde getting dropped is a big opening kill as well.
Valde tried to go for the secondary AWP in this round and take an early fight, take initiative. Unfortunately, he gets bested at the start of the round. Now you got to wonder whether this A site is just going to be bombarded. It's only dycha here, smoked down. He's had a good game, but he just gets run over way too quick, and there is no response for ENCE. This has to be 15 for Cloud9. There's nothing ENCE can do.
Yeah, they can't afford to lose all their stuff. They've been forced out of the bomb site already. Stand and fall. Make your way over, face the smokes. And all the rifles. I think Buster is maybe disposing of this AWP. So now ENCE's backs are truly against the wall. Just made it to 10. That's enough pressure for Cloud9 to find a way to make it to 15. They've had momentum in this half. ENCE, they need to find it again and find it immediately. Otherwise, they're done for on Anubis.
See what they can muster up. That was a round where it literally just came down to that first fight and then the follow-up from Cloud9 into that A-bomb site. ENCE decided to take a bit of a risk by leaving dycha here alone, and he simply could not respond quickly enough. Clearly not his standard position. Normally it's Valda playing on that A site. So we'll see if ENCE decide to just take it more chill in this round, try and not give away that early opening that was easily found by Cloud9 in the previous. Shiro is the kind of AWPer that would rather let the action come to him.
24 kills for Shiro at present. But dycha's been catching up. 23 kills for him now, and he'll need plenty more to keep ENCE alive in this game of Anubis. If you're joining us late, it's the pick of ENCE. But Cloud9 had the lion's share of the rounds in the first half. ENCE on a catch-up, and it is possible, but he can't make any more mistakes. Sunpaya's trying to get away, but he'll be denied. The numbers game being abused by the T side of Cloud9 into the bomb site they go. 4 versus 3 now, as ENCE try to make some space for themselves.
Yeah, they try and switch it up and put the AWP here instead, but it doesn't make a difference. Thankfully, Valda fights ahead of the smoke, but he will be traded. And now ENCE have to figure out, can they use this utility to try and get back in? They have to try this. Kit on Snappy's back, a couple of pieces of utility, but Cloud9 are just tucking tail and not giving up anything for free. Finally, dycha rounds the corner, but 2 players below him. Not easy to clear and not easy to deal with Shiro. Cloud9 take it 16-10, showing us that their Anubis is not to be trifled with.
Utterly monstrous performance from Shiro. You heard the scope at the end, and it was an absolute decapitation after that. Came in flaming hot in the first half and continued through most of the second. Cloud9 show they have answers on Anubis. Pick it if you dare. That was a very strong performance from Cloud9 in the opening map of the series. They will move on to